Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
Okay, good evening, everyone. One second. Hello. Yeah, so just a second. Okay, so good evening, everyone. We will be starting in the next 1 minute or so. Okay, so I think we can begin our discussion. So good evening, everyone. I can see a lot of familiar names. So good to have you all here. Now, what are we going to discuss today? And I also just quickly introduce myself. But I think, yeah, I think more participants would be joining in the next few minutes. Again, I know uh, it's a weekday evenings, a time when you would ideally want to spend with your family. But yeah, we have here a webinar. So firstly, thank you very, very much for joining this webinar and taking the time to join this webinar. And I completely understand and appreciate the fact that it's not easy to attend a webinar on a weekday evening. But yeah, thank you very, very much for joining the webinar. And I really hope there's a lot of information and insights that you get after attending this webinar. Now, what is the purpose? The purpose is definitely to discuss about level 3 in general, the exam structure, because level 3 is very different from the levels that you've seen before, level 1 and level 2, though the passing rates are slightly higher for level 3, but the exam structure is slightly different. And that is the reason why it's important that you all understand the overall exam structure. So we will be discussing about that. We'll be discussing about our course starting dates, when it's going to start, how is the process going to be. And today we also have with us Ria Mathur. So she is one of our ex-students, and she is going to be also talking about her own experiences as in. So Ria, personally, I don't think we've ever got a chance to interact with each other, because I was always in Abu Dhabi before, and I think you've been in Dubai. But then I've kind of definitely seen you in our student databases and WhatsApp groups. So good to know that you cleared the exam. And the purpose again is here so that you can just maybe talk with the students here in general. What has your strategy been? How did you prepare? And what I'll do is, after a quick introduction, I'll immediately ask you to uh, have this discussion, because I really don't want you to wait. This is going to be like a 1.5 hour long discussion, so you can maybe just start with your as in what your overall strategy has been. But yeah, before that, I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Shanin Thomas, and I head the CFA vertical in Abu Dhabi. But yeah, although I manage Abu Dhabi vertical, but then I've recently moved to Dubai. So I actively take trainings for CFA level 1, level 2, level 3. In addition to that, I also do some trainings for financial modeling, equity research, value investing, these kind of programs. And I've been doing this since the last 8 years. I'm also actively involved in financial markets. in the capacity of an investor. So I actively invest in markets, in publicly listed securities, and also occasionally in private companies. Prior to this, as in prior to taking up training full time, uh, so I worked with JP Morgan in their investment banking team, covering North American banking and asset management companies. Prior to that, I worked with a firm named Tres Vista Financial Services, which was again into providing services to boutique investment banks and private equity firm. And I've myself CFA charter holder, and I've also cleared the FRM exam. And even right now, see, generally you would have seen a lot of you, we've anyways interacted in sessions. Um, most of our sessions are in the evening, 6:30 to 9:30, right? And that is why throughout the day, we generally get a lot of time where, yeah, some of that goes into doubt solving and discussions with students, but yeah, also get a lot of time to be actively involved in markets. So personally, when I teach, I really like to bring market related concepts, and level 3 is a wonderful opportunity for that, because level 3 is all about portfolio management. I'm going to talk about the curriculum also in detail. Okay, so in general, the focus would be on understanding the exam structure and the exam curriculum. And about Kaplan, I think I can see many names here, and some of you have already enrolled with Kaplan before for your level 1 and level 2. So you know that we are an organization which is into financial training, and not just financial training. In fact, a lot of different types of training, but finance training has been one of our core areas, and within that, CFA has been one of our uh, biggest, I would say, and then a vertical which where we have the biggest market share in terms of preparation through sessions, and also in the form of content, the Schwezer content. Okay, so that's about Kaplan. Now, starting with Ria, I think. So Ria, off to you. You can discuss. And yeah, by the way, thank you very much for taking your time and coming here to discuss with the students and helping them and guiding them in maybe how, and helping them and guiding them in preparing for these exams. So thank you very much, Ria. And one second, I'll just allow you to talk. So I think then you'll be able to, yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you.
First of all, thank you so much, Shannon, for giving me the opportunity. I'm personally a fan of your LinkedIn posts and your, your various thoughts that you post on your LinkedIn. So that's so. First of all, thanks for giving me this opportunity. And just one quick question. So we're looking at only level 3 candidates here, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Only level 3, only level 3. So all of them who have joined have either cleared level 2 or are very likely to clear level 2.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is a bit of my background. I currently work as an associate in Franklin Templeton Investments, which is an investment management company. I'm working with a team that looks at the distribution business in Middle East and Africa. And prior to this role, I was working as an intern with them, and I paved my way through as being an employee, full-time employee, along with doing CFA on the side. Prior to that, I was working with Credit Suisse in their private banking as an intern, and Grant Thornton in mergers and acquisitions. So a little bit on my journey. It's definitely, CFA has definitely been one of the most difficult, as you all know. You probably giving level 2 or have given level 2. It's definitely one of the most challenging kind of qualifications, but definitely very, very enriching. When you come out of when you get that pass result of CFA level 3, it is the biggest relief that you'll ever feel. Definitely it is something that is worth doing. It gives you a lot of confidence, as you all already know. In terms of my exam strategy, I stuck to pretty much my strategy that I did for level 2, which essentially was, looking at the, video lectures that Kaplan had provided, followed by, reading the Schwezer material. and moving to the Q&A. One thing that really helped with level 3 was, the fact that I practiced a lot of the AM kind of like the essay kind of questions or the constructed response questions. A lot of times people don't give enough importance to the AM section of the exam, but it is the most important. It is what differentiates it from level 2. The fact that you have to now write down your thoughts and answer the questions in a constructed response format. Because of level 2 we have the experience of vignette kind of questions, but level 3 becomes different that way, that you have to kind of jot down the points in your mind and then put it on the screen. So so that is my recommendation would be to practice as much. I know a lot of people focused more on reading the material and practice less, because there was like a lot of material to kind of go through. They ended up focusing a lot on just reading and didn't give enough attention to the actual practice bit of the exam, which is the most important in my opinion. Other things that helped me was the fact that I remember Kaplan had also advised that you write in bullet points, which really worked for me in the exam, because normally everyone would be short of time in the first half in the AM paper, and bullet points really helped. I was able to kind of just quickly jot down the most important critical words that I felt had to be in the answer. And obviously, doing a lot of mock exams, that also helps. In the last 2 weeks, I would suggest, keep for like just mock exams and, looking at the revision booklet that Kaplan as well provides. Time management, I would say overall time management is the most important, because you, like I said, will be definitely short of, and we'll have less time to kind of complete the AM paper, and time management is the most important. Also, a lot of times people give a lot of importance to grammar and spelling errors, and they kind of waste their time on like kind of trying to think of that. But I think what CFA Institute would probably look at is not the grammar, but what is the message that you're kind of portraying in your answer. So that's also one thing that I would like to highlight. And also, like I said earlier, practice as much and just be consistent. I think that is the key to cracking the level 3 exam. Happy to take any questions.
Yeah. So firstly, in case any of y'all have any questions, y'all can, there are two ways. One, y'all can put it in the chat box, or else what y'all can also do is, I've just allowed all of you to talk. So 1 second, so I've allowed all of you to talk. So in case you all want to directly ask questions to Ria, that is also fine. Or else you can put it on the chat box. So one question from my end, Ria, again, just to know, I know that every student prepares it in a different way, but in level 1, generally people study a lot from the CFA curriculum, the CFA, the Schwezer books, and then they solve questions from the CFA end of chapter questions. So in level 3, what did you do? As in, did you study mostly everything from the Schwezer book, or how often did you refer to the CFA curriculum and the end of chapter questions in the CFA curriculum?
That's a very good question, because I would say level 1, 2, and 3, I barely looked at the curriculum for reading, except I would read ethics right out of the curriculum. But I would never open the CFA textbook. I would only look at it if, I use the online question bank that they have. I would solve that. That is definitely very, very important in my opinion. But I wouldn't sit and read any of the material because I would think Shweza has a good, concise way of like kind of presenting the information. I know a lot of my friends went back and read the CFA curriculum for level 3, you know, thinking they might get a good flow of words, you know, for the exam. But I wouldn't recommend it, because it's not about how much you're writing, it's about the right words that you have to write. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, perfect. Although, yeah, I personally, my advice would be, yeah, CFA curriculum is also wonderful. So personally, what
Yeah.
I did, I remember, is any topics which I'm really interested in, let's say equity investments or derivatives or fixed income. So those topics I used to read from the CFA curriculum.
Mhm.
And the other ones, yeah, I used to stick with Schwezer. Schwezer has definitely summarized it in a very good way, but yeah, the curriculum is also wonderful. Again, just my
Absolutely.
opinion, but yeah, in an exam environment where you have little time to study, curriculum definitely takes a long
I mean,
time
if
to
you're
actually go
thinking
through it.
about it, yeah, if you're thinking about it from the perspective of, let's say, someone who gets back from work by 6:30, has just a couple of hours to like, you know, squeeze
Yeah,
in to
yeah.
study. So, I mean,
Mhm.
curriculum is definitely very good when you want to know more about the subject. But I would say
Mhm.
from exam perspective, when you have like limited time,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you kind of divert from the main
exactly.
thing
Yeah.
that you want to focus on. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's it from my end. Yeah. Anybody, any questions? Okay, perfect. Then I think we can proceed. So thank you very much, Ria, for taking this time and coming for this webinar. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we will now start discussing about, again, the program, how the exams are different, and we'll also speak a bit about the exam dates and all. Okay, and again, I have allowed all of you to talk. So whenever you all want to talk, all you need to do is unmute yourself and ask, as in that's it. Or maybe directly put your questions in the chat box. Okay, so what are we going to discuss? We are going to be talking about, in general, what the CFA exam is about, what are some career opportunities. We also talk about, in general, the changes. There are a lot of changes that have happened recently, and how Kaplan is going to help you in all these things. Okay. Now, to start off with the CFA qualification, honestly, we really don't even need to spend a lot of time here, because you all know about the exam, right? What is the CFA exam? It's an exam which caters to maybe participants who are interested in going into equity research, investment banking, private equity, these kind of roles. And see, CFA is not the only certification. Let me tell you, there is CAA, IA, FRM, then there is ACCA, CMA. There are a lot of certifications. But then what you will see is, think about entry-level roles. Entry-level roles in finance, that is in equity research or investment banking, buy-side analyst, sell-side analyst, uh, even into financial planning and analysis. Now, in most of these roles, the first 4 or 5 years, the skill sets that you need is more or less the same, right? So you need to be good with numbers. You need to be good with financial statements. You need to be good with valuation in general, understanding businesses through financial statements. Next, you need to be, and then you need to uh, know a lot about different products that are there in the market. So these are some skill sets required. And the good thing here is CFA does a lot of, as in does a very good job here, as in their curriculum covers almost all of these things. And level 3 focuses then a lot on portfolio management and equity research. So it is now preparing you for portfolio management, right? Portfolio management and equity research style of roles, not really equity research, because we are not going to talk about ratios and financial statements that you have discussed in level 1 and level 2, but mainly from a portfolio structuring perspective. Okay, so that is basically what the CFA curriculum prepares you for. Now, the careers where I've seen CFA charter holders work in is, they work in equity research, they work, especially in this region, they work in family offices, they work at sovereign wealth funds. I've seen them working in investment banking, the bigger ones, bulge bracket investment banking, and even the small boutique investment banks also. So these are some areas where you would see CFAs getting hired.
Okay. And because CFA has this wonderful curriculum which tries to cater a lot of different kind of roles, that makes it one of the most well-known certifications and well-recognized one. And the second thing that I've seen with CFA Institute is they are one of the richest, as in terms of when I say richest, I mean the funds that they have is definitely the highest when you compare it with other institutes. So they spend a lot on branding and marketing. See, it's a non-profit organization, so there is no concept of dividend. There's no entity who's going to get a dividend from CFA Institute. But if you look at their annual report, their financial statement is out, you would see the kind of funds and donations that they get in addition to all the fees and all that you pay. And all these things have to be invested. So they invest a lot in brand building, marketing, and that is also one of the reasons why globally people are aware. Otherwise, I've seen some exams which is popular in one area, one region, but not so global. But yeah, CFA has done a very good job here. Okay. So that's about the CFA program. Now, talking about the roadmap. So see, first, because you all are anyways at this stage where eligibility doesn't matter, level 1 exam doesn't matter, level 2 exam also doesn't matter, right? For you now, what matters is just the level 3 exam, right? But few things that you'll need to know here is one, level 1 is now done 4 times in a year. Level 2 is done 3 times in a year. Level 3 is done twice in a year. In 2022, it is being done in May and August. 2023, it is being done in Feb and August. And that is how it is going to be. Going forward, it is going to be Feb and August. Right now, you all are preparing for August, as in right now, your target ideally should be August 2022. Okay. And that is basically the purpose of this webinar. The dates and all will be discussed as per this. Now, once you clear, so level 3 exams generally takes more time. So it will take around 90 days. So if you give your exam in August, you will get your results somewhere in November. And at that point, if you have 3 years of relevant work experience, then you become a CFA charter holder. Else, you can always claim that you've cleared all 3 levels of the exam, but you cannot say that you are a CFA charter holder. But if you have relevant work experience, now what do you mean by relevant work experience? Any of those careers that I discussed is anyways relevant. In addition to that, you're a wealth manager, you're into corporate banking, you are a finance manager, internal finance manager, a finance controller, a CFO, in general, a general manager for finance. All these kind of roles also is considered relevant by the CFA Institute. So if you have 3 years or approximately, again, they speak in hours, 3,000 hours, but yeah, that some way or the other translates to around 3 years. So if you have 3 years of experience, you basically get the CFA charter holder. Okay. Now, the exam format is different. So be aware of this. So see, the CFA exam now, you would have seen Ria saying the AM exam, PM exam. So earlier, because it was a 6-hour exam, the morning session was called as the AM session, afternoon session was called as the PM session, right? But then right now it is just session 1, session 2. So in the CFA level 3, let me just explain you the structure, right? So this is the most important for all of you, and rather than anything else, what Kaplan does and all, that is secondary. The most important is knowing the exam. Okay. So the result, the structure is slightly different in level 3, right? It consists of 2 types of questions. The first session will always be a 2-hour, 12-minute session. And this will be essays. The next 2-hour, 12-minute would be your case studies, 10 to 15 case studies, which is exactly the level 2 format. So let me talk about the second one, because you've just done the level 2 exam, you would remember. So the second session would be 10 to 15 case studies, which will either have 4 questions or 6 questions. Okay, 4 questions are the short ones, 6 questions are the bigger case studies. Now, the way you have to think about markings is every question in second half has 3 marks. Okay, every question in the second half has 3 marks. In the first half, in the essay part, what they will do is they will tell you the time. They will say that this question has to be solved in 6 minutes, which means 6 marks. Okay, so some in the essay part, if they say that, okay, this question has to be solved in 6 minutes, it is as important as 2 multiple choice questions. Okay, that is how you should be. And then that is the mental accounting that you all need to have. So level 3, remember the first half is going to be essays. Second half is going to be your level 2. You all are going to get the results in 90 days. Passing rate is approximately 54% in the last 10 years, but don't go by this number, as you know that the passing rates seems to have gone down in the last few years. So this, take it as, let's say 40%, 40 to 45%, which means, yeah, this is kind of 4 out of 10 would clear the exam. This is actually a safe assumption. Okay, and exams again are very, very well structured. You all have already given level 1 and level 2, so you would know how the exams are structured and the style of questions, the grammar. It is very much similar in level 3. Okay, now these are some screenshots from the CFA Institute website. So know what CFA Institute says. It consists of item sets comprised of vignettes, which is nothing but your case studies. This is nothing but your cases, and constructed response or essay questions, right? So there will be 4 hours and 24 minutes, that is 2 hours 12 minutes each, right? And the first session is going to be essays. Second session is going to be your multiple choice questions. Now, let me tell you that when I say first session is essays, doesn't mean every time you have to type, right? Even there, you can have cases where there will be multiple choice and explain. So there will be a question, multiple choices. You have to tick there. What do you think is right? And also justify. So those command words would be there. Justify, critique, explain, describe. All these command words would be there. There could also be cases where you might have to input a number. So there will be a box given and you might have to input a number. So this is basically how the first session is. Second session is level 2. There is absolutely no difference. Okay. This is how the exam is. Now, the common misconception that students have is basically they will give you a huge space to write, and the misconception is you have to fill that space. That's not the case. CFA Institute wants you to give answers in bullet format. So a typical answer would be, let's say in a level 2 question, right? Advantages of share repurchases over stock dividends, or stock buybacks over stock dividends. You should just say something like this: tax benefits, more flexibility, right? You don't have to tell a story, oh yeah, and there's a company and one day this happened, that happened, all those things. You don't have to do it. Bullet points, that's it. Okay, so this is basically how it is, and they are looking for few keywords. The examiners or the ones who are checking your questions, they just are looking for few keywords. Okay, these 3 is done, that's it. 3 marks awarded, 6 marks awarded. That is how it is going to be. Definitely the ones which have more marks, the examiner expects you to spend more time there, which means there will be more calculations, and the question itself, will be constructed such a way that the answers would be slightly longer, as in there will be some calculations that you have to show. So this is basically how the exam would be. Again, few more idea about the exam, right from what CFA Institute says. Comprised of 8 to 11 vignettes, followed by several questions, require a written response. These are basically essays, right? And there will also be some multiple choice questions, but they are very, very rare. Multiple choice questions are very, very rare. And you might also have to sometimes do a numerical entry. 8% is the required return or risk adjusted returns, right? So all these kind of questions might also come, but remember, right, the majority of questions will be traditional essays. Essay means bullet points. Clear? And remember, 1 point equal to 1 minute. This is the most important. So they won't talk about marks or minutes or the points. They will talk about minutes. So based on the number of minutes, you know that this is basically the number of marks. This is so that you can compare it with level the second session. So you know which is more important. Okay. So this is basically how the CFA level 3 exam is structured. Now, any questions on anything about the exam structure? Everything clear? Now, topic areas. So this is the same topic area that you've seen in level 1 and level 2. The good thing here is, in fact, the bad thing is no corporate finance, right? It was always the most easiest one. No quants, nothing, no regression, no hypothesis testing, and no income statement, no balance sheets also. So the logic here is financial tools are not discussed a lot here, right? Quants, FRA, all these things were seen as financial tools. Now, the assumption is that by the time you've reached level 3, you know the financial tools, right? So if you see, everything is portfolio management, okay? So the most important is portfolio management. Now, is this the portfolio management that you've studied in level 1 and level 2? Absolutely not. Level 1 and level 2 talks about the modern portfolio theory, active portfolio management and Markowitz theory, efficient frontier, active risk, active return, all these things. This is not what portfolio management is about. So this portfolio management is more about financial planning, right? It talks about private wealth management. How would you manage wealth for a private investor? How would you manage wealth for a public or an institutional investor like a pension fund or an endowment or a bank or a mutual fund? How would you do asset allocation? Then there is a topic on behavioral finance, very, very interesting, right? Which talks about different behavioral biases, right? Then there is a topic on trading performance monitoring, right? Which you had a part of that in level 2 portfolio management, but this goes into detail, performance evaluation, how to select the right managers. All those things is covered in portfolio management and wealth planning, the most important area. A lot of questions come in the first half. Essay questions, they generally come from private wealth management and institutional wealth management. Now, after this, you have some topics, and believe me, they are just portfolio management for that particular asset classes. So fixed income investment is nothing but fixed income portfolio management. So if you are a portfolio manager and you have a mandate that you should only invest in bonds and money market instruments, what would you do? How would you analyze? That is your fixed income investments, the second most important topic. Ethics, same as level 1 and level 2. Some part of GIPS is there, but a lot of GIPS has been taken off. As in 2 years back, I would have called this ethics and GIPS. Today that GIPS is negligible. It's basically the ethics. You can go and give the exam right now. Equity, this is equity portfolio management. So portfolio manager, how should he look at equity portfolios? Now this, it's a lot about factor investing, right? This has become very popular. You would see a lot of assets or a lot of funds have been mobilized by these kind of companies who are into factor-based funds. So it's a lot about factor investing. It also talks about passive investments in equity and active investments in equity. Then you have economics. The name of this topic is not economics. The name of this topic is capital market expectations. Capital market expectations, which means if you are an emerging market portfolio manager, you are planning to invest in, let's say, Poland, right? What should ideally be the returns that you should expect? So in general, when you are allocating your assets to capital markets, what are the kind of returns that you should be expecting over the next few decades, right? And then there are some theories behind that. That is basically your economics or capital market expectation. Then you have derivatives. Wonderful. Here, derivative doesn't talk about pricing, valuation, swaps, and all these things. It talks more about using these instruments for portfolio management, like option trading strategies are being discussed. All those different straddle, strangle, all these strategies gets discussed. Swaps for interest rate risk management and currency risk management. So it's mainly derivatives. I would actually call it risk management, right? The final application of derivative was meant to be risk management, right? And then that is what is discussed here. And you have again alternative investment portfolio management, which again talks about hedge fund, private equity, again from a portfolio management perspective, real estate, all these things get covered, right? So the most important is portfolio management. Next is fixed income. Then you have equity and ethics. After that, you have economics, derivatives, and alts. Generally, what you would see is, again, it's not necessary, but generally what you will see is morning half, that is your first half, essay based, would be mainly from portfolio management and wealth planning. And you might also get from any of these equity derivatives, any of these, but mainly it will be from portfolio management. Second half, which is going to be level 2 style of questions, might come from alternative investments, derivatives, equity, and all these things. Okay, but this is how the level 3 exam weightage generally is. Now talking about registration dates. So for registration dates, the first deadline is anyways over. You don't have to worry about this $450 also. So for you, the only number that you'll need to worry about is 3rd May. For anyone who has just given the exam level 2, your results will definitely come before 3rd May, right? So that you can register for the exam on 3rd May. In case your exam results doesn't come on 3rd May, they will stretch this, they'll take this deadline, they'll postpone it. That is what they have done in the past, but you can expect your results way before 3rd of May. Okay, so for all of you here, if you have not registered for your exam, this is the number that you need to look at. $1,000 need to pay to the CFA Institute and you get registered for the exam. Okay, what are you going to get? The same old stuff that you got in level 2. You will get ebooks, right? You can download it, it's in the PDF form. You will get a study planner and practice test and mock exams. This is very, very important. Why? Because you all will learn how to answer the question, right? And then how to write. And that is what, in fact, in level 3, what I've seen is a lot of value add from a trainer comes in how to answer the question. Exams, how should you be answering those questions? How not to waste a lot of time on needless data. Right, so that is what we will be discussing about. And there are a lot of very good questions in the CFA portal also. And a lot of exam questions are very similar and they sound similar to the practice question. So I am a fan of curriculum. Although, yeah, every student will have a different approach. I am a fan of curriculum. Schwezer book is good. Schwezer does a wonderful job in explaining it in a very simple way, simple language. CFA curriculum is very, very academic language, but their questions are very, very good. And any topic that you're really interested in, you want to know it further, CFA curriculum does a very good job. Okay. Then talking about how Kaplan will help you in your CFA journey. So first, few things that you'll need to be aware about how Kaplan is going to be different. And again, what are some strategies that we have employed? Now, the first thing is the trainers. Now, what we've realized is in the past, we've had freelancers who teach, although we were predominantly full-timers, but then we've seen freelancers also taking sessions. But what we've realized is, again, that the level of commitment which full-timers would have is way, way more than freelancers. So we are going to completely stop our reliance on freelancers, and it will only be full-time trainers who would be teaching you. And that is also one of the reasons why I personally moved from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. And secondly, the content, right? So see, there are a lot of different content providers in the market. You would know there is Wiley, there is Schwezer, there are some others, Quartic, all of these. But again, purely in a very unbiased way also, if I have to tell, I would say that Schwezer does a very good job in summarizing the overall material. See, even before we were earlier, you would know that we were Genesis. We were not Kaplan. Even before, we used Schwezer books, even when we were not associated with Kaplan, right? The books that we used were Kaplan, Schwezer. So it's a wonderful set of notes that you're going to get. And other than that, I would say, yeah, more or less the same. The student support culture would be there. All trainers would be invested in your success too. Okay. Now talking about the CFA trainers, see again, there are a lot of faces here. So we all are 8 full-time CFA trainers, but whom are you going to see in CFA level 3? So again, in Dubai, as in, I don't know, some of you might be joining in Abu Dhabi, some of you might in Dubai. So in Dubai, it is completely being taken by me and Bilal. In Abu Dhabi, you would have me, Bilal, Kunal, and Shiv. And even in Dubai, it would be me, Shiv, and Bilal. We three is what you would see. And in Abu Dhabi, it would be me, Bilal, and Kunal, or 4 of us. Right. Other than that, also see we have Yasser. Yasser is right now in Canada, but he takes some sessions online. But yeah, you might not have him in level 3. There's Rahul Sonthalia. He is an expert in financial modeling. So in case you all are interested in financial modeling, you can definitely approach. Murtaza is based in Abu Dhabi, but yeah, I don't think you might see him in the August 2022 level 3. And there's also Rahul Agarwal. You might not see him in classroom sessions. He is more involved in corporate training. But yeah, these are the trainers who would be teaching you the CFA level 3 curriculum. Now talking about the training programs, there are 3 ways in which they would be delivered. One is the classroom sessions. This is basically you come to the classroom, attend them. Second is live online. So live online is not a separate program. It is nothing but the live streaming of the face-to-face program. Okay. Or else you can also enroll for study materials. Okay. So these are the 3 things that are there: face-to-face training, live online, or study materials. Now, I would not recommend only study materials. The only study materials is when you definitely have you know all of it, you've already studied it, but then it's your entire notes are in a mess. You've kind of taken data from a lot of things, and now you want to just structure it in a small book. That is where just buying study materials would help. Otherwise, it would definitely, as in case you are someone who needs preparation, then a classroom or a live online session is what is advisable. Now, classroom sessions, again, see, most of you have already attended these sessions. You would know these are basically classroom sessions where we teach. Level 3 is done approximately 100 hours, slightly more than 100 hours of live classes where we cover all the topics in detail. There will be industry and region-based examples wherever possible. Within the class, now this is mainly for essays. So whenever we are teaching private wealth management and institutional wealth management, we make it a point that you all are being taught using questions. See, because in level 3, it's mainly about, I think you would have heard, level 3 is not that difficult, but level 3 is mainly about knowing how to attempt this exam. Right? And even if you know a lot, but if you directly go for the CFA exam, it might not help you. So level 3, especially in private wealth management and institutional wealth management, the strategy itself is teaching using questions. Rather than you teach and solve questions, it is teaching itself using questions. Okay. You all would be given the slide pack. So the slides will be given. The lectures would be recorded. Calculators won't be given, right? As in, unfortunately, you will have to use the same calculator that you got in level 1. And in case the battery is not working, then either you'll have to buy a new battery or a new calculator. Or else, if it's just one, then you all can just let me know. I have like a couple of calculators, extra ones also. Okay. So this is prep. This prep will go on from May till June. Sorry, March till June. So March, April, May, June, 4 months purely prep. In July is where you all will have revision, right? So these are again going to be weekend full day sessions, right? All of you, in fact, most of you have seen during revisions, you would know that these are very intense sessions, but they help you a lot because you are already in that mood now with exams close by, and especially level 3, people want to get done with it. As in, some of them, they know that, oh yeah, this has been a very, very long journey and now that's too much. Now we want to get out of it. So a lot of people kind of put that last effort, and those revisions, level 3 revisions are generally the best, because many people attend it thinking that, yeah, this is the last time they might be sitting in a classroom, right? Because after that, yeah, and this might be the last time you might sit in a classroom. Okay, so that's how revision sessions are. Right? Exam style questions will be covered. You all will be given a passmate. Everything will be taught from the passmate. And again, essay questions will be practiced, and also non-essay style case studies will also be practiced in the class. You also have live online sessions. Live online sessions is actually, I would call it live streaming of face-to-face sessions. Exactly the same, no difference. It is just the classroom sessions being live streamed on Zoom. Okay. And you can appear for, and then you can attend the prep sessions and revision sessions on live online. So students who enroll for face-to-face program can come for live online also, but once you have enrolled only for live online, might not be able to come for, or won't be able to come for face-to-face program. Okay, but yeah, in between you want to upgrade it, you can just talk to the program advisor and check, as in there might be some extra payment, but you can definitely upgrade it from live online to face-to-face. But it's completely your choice, as in it's just the medium which is different. The content, the quality, the delivery is not different. It's just the medium in which the lecture is delivered, right? So someone who's comfortable with live online, who like to sit at home and attend the session, go for live online. For someone who wants that atmosphere of a classroom, you all can definitely come for face-to-face program. And in case you want just the study materials, right? Like you all have already studied level 3, and after studying level 3, if you feel that, okay, you want to maybe kind of, you studied for 3 years back and now the curriculum has changed, you want to attend it again, you definitely can, and then you can just go for the revisions and the study materials. Okay, so study materials, you will get the Schwezer notes, you will get practice exams, you will get the study calendar from Schwezer, you will also get the quick sheet. This is basically some basic formulas that is covered in the exam. You will have a Q bank. This is basically all the questions that you have, and the online resource library, some recorded video sessions and all would be here. Okay. In addition to this, you will also have KPME, that is Kaplan Professional Middle East, something that is being provided by Kaplan Dubai. You will have a portal. You would know that, learn.kaplanprofessional.me, and you just need to go there. Login ID, password would be given. You will be able to get all the class notes. So everything that we teach in the PDF form would be saved there. All the sessions, including this one, is getting recorded. So you will find the recorded sessions there. You will also have some bite-sized, as in these 3-4 minute videos that will get recorded or will be uploaded there. The course slides would be there. So the slide pack, the print of which you all get it, the soft copy would be there in the learning management system, but this won't be downloadable. The class notes would be downloadable. Okay, so this is the only thing that will be downloadable. And you will also have virtual lecture links, that is, anyone who wants to attend the session on Zoom, you can definitely attend it here. Okay. Next, talking about candidate support. Again, this is also something that we you would see this very similar to what you've seen in level 1 and level 2, that the trainers would be here. We generally come to office in the afternoon. So in case you all have any doubts, you all can definitely come in a bit earlier, like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. You all can come and then get your doubts cleared. There'll be a lot of essay practice and all. If you all want to do, you all can definitely come in earlier. So this candidate support would be just like what you've experienced before. There will be WhatsApp groups created. You all can attend and you all will be a part of the WhatsApp group and ask as many questions as you all want to. Generally the same style, take a print, take a screenshot, or directly ask questions. But yeah, that is how it is going to be. Then about placement opportunities. Now again, placement is not something that Kaplan provides, but in the past, what we have seen is companies have approached us. So just 2 days back, as in someone, as in your WhatsApp group itself, you would have got a message, as in everyone who's there in the level 2 WhatsApp group, that there's a company who wants to hire an investment director, right? It's a US listed company, and they are based in Dubai. They have they have operations in Dubai, and they want to hire an investment director, someone who has cleared CFA level 1, 2, or 3, right? So we've reached out to all the students, and then we've also got few resumes, and then they try to connect with the companies and then try to kind of help them get a job. So see here, Kaplan is just a bridge. That is, yeah, some corporates have reached out to us and have said that, okay, we need to hire few CFA charter holders or few CFA level 2 cleared candidates, and we just give their emails, or we just allow you to send the CVs, and you all can then take it further. But yeah, this way we have helped many of our students get placed in these companies, right? And especially this happens a lot, I have seen personally, because I was in Abu Dhabi, and I've done some corporate training in Abu Dhabi, some sovereign wealth funds, and they generally come to us and saying that, yeah, they want to hire few people from basically few CFA charter holders, and then we pass those requests on to our CFA student WhatsApp groups. Okay. Now, these are some testimonials that we have received. Again, you would have seen some of these before, but yeah, in general, what you would see is the main difference would be in terms of the commitment and the student support culture that you will see with the team at Kaplan. Next, talking about the course starting dates. Now, this is very important. So the revision, the prep, we're going to start next week on 8th of March. Sessions will be 6:30 to 9:30 here in the KPME premises at Rolex Towers, and evenings 8:30 to 10:30 during Ramadan. Right? This is only during Ramadan, right? So Tuesdays, Thursdays 6:30 to 9:30, and during Ramadan time it will be 8:30 to 10:30. So this will go on from 8th March to 28th July. After that, we will start with the Revision Pro. Revision, that is something that is done towards the end, will go on from 6th August to 21st August. This is purely going to be on weekends, the new weekends, Saturday, Sundays, and these will be full day sessions. Okay. Now, talking about the fees again, so we have with us also Dima. So Dima is also there in the panelist. So any questions related to fees, mode of payment, discounts, all these things, you can definitely reach out to Dima for this. So here I'll just tell you the different products that we have. In case you want to go only for revisions, you just want to enroll for revisions, this is the fees, 6,500 AED for face-to-face. In case you all want to go only for preparations, only for the prep, and the prep is with books, it's going to be 12,500, right? And in case you want to buy both of them together, like a combo, as in I generally joke saying, this is basically like the Coke and this is basically like a burger. And then in case you want to have both of them, so the combo meal is basically 16,443 after discount. And for all of you attending the webinars, there's an additional 5% discount, and also you would be provided with a 2-day financial modeling program. So this will be on Excel. So we'll take a company and we will build a financial model of that company on Excel. Okay, so that is also going to be done, and this is for everyone who enroll for the August 2022 exams. Okay. Now, for anyone who wants just the books, so you don't want anything else, just the books, this is the fees, 2,258 AED. So this is, again, like I said, only in case you've already prepared. In that case, you could go for just the Schwezer books. Next, in case you want to go only for the live online training program. So even for live online, the fees will be slightly less, like the Revision Pro, which was 6,500, it is 4,875 dirhams. Prep Pro, which was around 12,000, is 9,900 here. And the Enhanced Prep Pro, the combo, is at 12,500. And in addition to this, there will be a 5% discount for all of you who have basically attended this webinar. Okay, so this is the fees, and anything related to payments, y'all can definitely reach out to Dima for this. As in, I think she is right now in the panel also. She's also in the program. So sorry, she's also in the meeting. So that's about the training program. And this is basically the contact details of Dima. You can reach out to her on dima.hello@kaplanme.com. In case you all have any questions related to the curriculum, you all can reach out to me. I'll just give you my email ID, shannon.lathara@kaplanme.com. Second, in case you all want to reach out to me on phone, my number is 971-050-854-2281. Okay. So by the way, just a second, there's a issue here. The number of, so Dima's number is not the one which is mentioned here. It is 0555780-381. So anything related to admissions, Dima is the person. Anything related to the curriculum, teaching style, all these things, you all can definitely reach out to me. So any questions on anything that we have discussed, anything that you would want to ask, see, definitely all these information is there online, but we've just put it in a very structured way for you here. So any questions, anything you would want to ask more about the exam? So is everything clear? Okay, perfect. So we can wind up this session. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending this session and taking your time on a weekday evening. And really hope to see you all in the classrooms soon. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Pradyut. Yeah, same here, Al-Khadir. Thank you. Good to see you and congratulations on clearing level 2. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Al-Khadir. Yeah, thank you.